Chief Twit Elon Musk has recently admitted that his goal of cutting $2 trillion in wasteful government spending is not actually going to happen. The first half of the DOGE brothers recently told Mark Penn, a Democratic pollster turned marketing executive, that the $2 trillion figure was merely aspirational. I'm aspiring to cut that much money, which means I'm not actually going to be able to cut that much money. Here's a quote. We'll try for $2 trillion. I think that's like the best case outcome. But I do think that you kind of have to have some overage. I think if we try for 2, we've got a good chance at getting 1. That's quite a bit of overage, $1 trillion. But hold on, though. His goal was to cut at least $2 trillion. That's what he talked about all the time. Oh, yeah, I'm going to cut $2 trillion from the federal budget. Oh, really? What happened? Look, the whole time I've been saying, and I and smarter people than I, okay, have been saying, like, no, you can't just cut $2 trillion from the budget. Like, there is not enough stuff to cut from that budget. And maybe he has now realized, oh, maybe that's kind of impossible to do. Unless, of course, you go after some pretty popular things, for example, Social Security and Medicare. Now, the thing about that is, if you're looking to cut Social Security because of the debt, Social Security does not add a penny to the debt. Social Security has a trust fund that will continue paying out benefits at least until 2035. If there are no changes, 100% of benefits. Then it goes down to 85%. So that doesn't add a penny to the deficit. So why would you need to cut that? Again, it's spending that has been paid for, that is paid for. There's no borrowing money. You're not borrowing money from China, okay? Unlike other parts of the budget where the government does borrow money, all right? That said, okay, good. Social Security, Medicare off the table. Didn't say anything about Medicaid, which I'm pretty sure will likely be on the table. That said, another thing that is off the table that Elon's not going to be able to touch, that is a major expenditure, is military spending. Why? Well, both Republicans and Democrats in Congress want to continue funding the military-industrial complex. That is despite Trump and the GOP claiming we're not anti-war. No. No, we're totally anti-war. Okay. Well, if that's the case, then why do we need to spend more money on the military-industrial complex? More money than every other world nation in the world combined, if we're not planning on starting or continuing any wars. When you try to ask these people that question, they can never really answer it. Okay, so that said, that's another near $1 trillion right there. Okay, so there's really only a fraction of the budget that Elon Musk can work with, and it's not going to equal $2 trillion. Probably won't even equal $1 trillion. All right. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if you could find some obscure budget items here and there. Okay, but the majority of waste that I can think of is actually just companies that overcharge the government, that are ripping off the taxpayer. Some notable examples of that include the companies Lockheed Martin, General Dynamics, and Boeing. They have been overcharging the government for profit. Oh, but that's right. They're not going to get touched because they're defense contractors. Oh, they will automatically be exempt from any cuts. And that's because they have purchased members of Congress. In fact, members of the House committee overseeing the Pentagon spending actually received more than $3.8 million in campaign donations from political action committees and of individuals associated with the military industry. Those same politicians recently inserted 2 provisions into the National Defense Authorization Act that exempted private products and services from competitive pricing guidelines. One of those provisions expands the definition of commercial products, items available to the general public that aren't subject to the Pentagon's fair pricing controls, to include parts and components of larger products, such as planes and computers. as well as services associated with building and repairing those products. The bill also provides contractors more leeway in what they can charge the Defense Department by basing it on prices from the past 12 months rather than continuing to require a market analysis to determine actual fair market value. That means these companies are going to have much more leeway to price gouge the taxpayer. So now the question is, how the hell does Elon think that he can close the gap between taxes and spending if he can't touch corporate welfare, which he won't because he receives a lot of corporate welfare, or anything like that? Well, he can't. He can't. And Republicans plan to make it even worse because they're going to extend Trump's tax cuts for the rich and corporations in addition to giving more tax cuts, which at least will add up $5 trillion over an additional debt over the next decade. And again, that's in addition to trillions more in corporate tax cuts. So yeah, that's a bit of a problem. And yet, Musk is still out there saying, oh yeah, no, it'll be easy to cut federal spending. Really? Quote, in terms of saving money in the government, well, as you know, it's a very target-rich environment for saving money. It's like being in a room full of targets. Like you can close your eyes and you can't miss. That's a lie. Total lie. The guy knows absolutely nothing. He does not know what he's talking about. Okay. We do not have a spending problem in this country. Believe it or not. No, we actually have a revenue problem. Okay. The ultra rich have not only massively cut taxes on themselves and corporations, okay, but have also been able to steer billions of dollars towards the same companies in the form of subsidies. The oil companies, they're subsidized. Elon Musk's companies, subsidized. Green energy companies, subsidized. Corn industry, subsidized. I mean, you have all these industries that are getting massive tax breaks and subsidies. Sometimes they have a negative tax rate where we give them a refund for a supposedly free market, which we don't have. There's a lot of money going to these giant corporations, which, by the way, the amount of corporate welfare that we give to these companies vastly outstrips welfare in total amounts. Okay? We give more money to companies than we do helping people who are poor. That's the focus of this country right now. We help rich people and companies far more than we help the poor and the needy. That's the reality. And guess what Elon is going to focus on? What very little we have of the social safety net. Food stamps, welfare programs, veterans health care, things like that. They don't give a damn about the people that are in need. All they want to do is feed their own greed. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.